Way, hello, viewer, and there is a viewer, ironically. Today is Saturday, March the 25th, 2023. Is it 9 months until Christmas? I am Mr. Brown, and I trust you are all very well today. On this evening's very last minute, we didn't know we was doing this until about 20 minutes ago. Stream/podcast. We are discussing John Wick Chapter 4, which dropped at the theatres yesterday. So be warned, everybody, if you've not seen it, you've been warned. There are major spoilers ahead. But before we begin, and it's always a big but, you can find us here on the YouTube, or if you prefer your entertainment in the podcast form, we are also on Spotify. The links are in the description. So if you've not shut down for the evening, as I always say, lots to get through. Well, there isn't, but there's enough. Shall we get the guests out? Yeah, of course we should. Here we go, folks. First, he is the purveyor of meh entertainment, and he's got the bluest hair in the business. It's the movie Cynic.
Woo! So if I like this movie, am I still the purveyor of meh?
Yes.
This movie's not meh.
Well, according to the Lord, you're the purveyor.
And we have to listen to him.
Yeah, up until he says something different, you are the purveyor, mate.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. It's
so
not going to stop me
Lord,
from praising
my friend.
Yeah, not going to stop me from praising this movie, though. God damn, what a banger!
There you go. Are you well?
There you go.
Shall we end it there? It's a banger, everybody.
Yep.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. How are you, Brownie?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Are we going to warn everybody? Spoilers.
Yeah, we're probably going to be talking spoilers here, everybody. So
proper spoilers.
Proper ones. Yep.
I think we'll just see how this goes duration-wise. Yes.
Yep. All good with me.
How's the channel going, my friend?
Good. I'm working on my John Wick review, taking a break to chat with you guys about it on here. So all John Wick all weekend, baby.
Get in. Should we get the next guest out?
Let's do it.
Next, all the way from 6 months in the future, he's back on, folks. Here we go. It's Romeo Tango November Zulu. Hello there.
Shwmae, sutach chi, gobeithio ti'n iawn. Oh, wait a minute. This stream's in English. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, hello, everyone. I'm going to turn my camera on so I can give a personal wave of hello and then turn it off so you're not terrified by my terrible face. Well, I'd just like to say, Brown, I didn't realize the 25th there, because not only am I in auspicious company with the movie Cynic and Mr. Brown and the next guest who's coming, but it's an auspicious date. The 25th of March in Lord of the Rings lore is the day that Frodo destroys the ring. So an auspicious date for an auspicious stream.
Even though I know nothing about Lord of the Rings. I'll take your word for that, my friend.
Well, it's in the Catholic faith. It's also the date of the feast of the Assumption of Mary. Or the Annunciation of Mary.
Yeah, but you're in the
which
future.
Is the day
it's the 26th, the way you are.
Yeah. Well, but it's your stream, your rules.
Okay. It's great to have you on, mate.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Just glad to be here. Yeah. It's great to be here with such a great panel, amazing people.
Are we going to say there's major spoilers ahead?
Yeah, there are some significant spoilers coming up, folks. So if you really want to go into this film unspoiled, maybe tune in a bit later or see it on the replay. But at the same time, if you want to get hyped up for this film, tune in, because I think Cynic and I have got a lot of and everyone have got a lot of really positive things to say that may
Absolutely.
build excitement more than diminish it.
Well,
Mhm.
shall we say we'll try and not drop any spoilers for a little bit?
I think
Yeah,
that's
fair enough.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Great to have you back on, my friend. Shall we get the last
Diolch yn
one?
fawr.
Here we go, folks. And last, but by no means least, he is the wise elder of the channel. You know the rest. He is the great Mega Geek himself,
Yay.
Ian David Diaz.
Hello. I am here. So let's get to it, shall we?
He's here, folks. Are you well, Ian?
I'm okay. I'm all right. Yes. Yes. Let's talk about John Wick, and there's going to be
Shall we-
major spoilers. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, spoilers, folks.
Yeah.
We'll try not do plot points, as it were.
What plot?
It's gonna be
Anyway,
That's pretty fair.
if you're going to go watch the film, or if there's even a hint that you want to go see the film, I'd probably say turn this stream off.
Let's just give a warning ahead of time. Like Stringer B said, can we have a cutoff time after which the spoilers start? Let's just announce it before we're gonna give a spoiler so they can click off.
Okay,
maybe.
we'll do our best, folks. I will say then, hello, chats. We can see you. There's a few in. Great to see you, boys and girls. As we said, totally last minute. There was enough of us who have seen John Wick to say, why don't we just do a quick little stream? So great to see everybody. Here you go then. So, John Wick, Chapter 4, discussion, episode 131.
bloody hell.
Here we go. I can't
you
read
free eye
that until
test.
now.
If
Here you go,
haven't
free
seen
eye
this
test,
far
everybody. Let's just make it
and you're
bigger.
enjoying this content,
If you
please
have
like and
made it this
share
far and you're
subscribe.
enduring,
Every single click will help this channel grow. There you go.
maybe I should change the word from enjoying to enduring this content. Please like, share, and subscribe. Every single click will help this channel grow. It's the subscription clicks, folks, keeps me motivated to do these.
Yeah. Spoilers ahead.
Bom, 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 bom.
Is that? Can you read that? Is that big enough?
Spoilers ahead.
Spoilers.
Whoa.
Okay, we'll
Whoa.
just do the poster for now. Whoa.
Well, I think it's fair to say that it won't be a spoiler to assume that the film takes place mostly in Paris.
Yes. I've done a little bit of kind of blurb, not too much. I'll just read it. John Wick, Chapter 4, directed by Chad Stahelski. Writers Shay Hatton, Michael Finch, Derek Kolstad. Starring Keanu Reeves, John Wick, Lawrence Fishburne, Bowery King, the late and great Lance Reddick as Sharon, Ian McShane, Winston, Bill Skarsgård, Marquis, Donnie Yen. It's Kane, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Fucking
think
I'm right there with you, Mega.
my
Fuck
my
yeah.
auto spell kicked in there. Is it Shamir Anderson as the tracker?
Yeah.
The budget was $90 million.
Wow. That's crazy money.
That's like cheap for a modern
Yeah, I think so as
blockbuster
well.
like
Well,
yeah.
compared to a Marvel movie and
Oh,
a
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thing,
of course.
definitely. But I mean, it is crazy money, though. I mean, that's a lot of money. Come on, it's a lot.
A runtime 2 hours. 2 hours, 49 minutes.
Not quite 3, but it felt like
That's a
it felt
bladder
like 15 minutes
bursting
because I was enjoying
duration.
it so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
It goes
released-
fast.
It does. Release date, folks. UK. I'll just do UK, USA. March 24th, 2023. That was yesterday. It is a certificate 1515 for the UK and a restricted R USA.
Mm. Yeah, it's an
Uh,
R in America. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. The level of violence in this movie, that is a
It's
guaranteed
15 over
R here.
here. It's a
Well,
15.
Americans, they're kind of pussies, so yeah, it's kind
Yeah, right here.
of how it is.
well,
Mm.
knowing
The
you,
original Matrix trilogy was rated R here.
Really?
what?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I think
Wow.
only one F-bomb was dropped in the entire trilogy, and there was like really no blood or guts or anything. It's just
That's
rated
weird.
R here because we're sissies. So,
Yeah, knowing you like I do, totally agree with that.
that's fine.
Pussy.
Yeah,
Yes.
Pussy.
Okay, so without doing spoilers, then, chaps, should we just do kind of initial thoughts or how you feel about the movie? Movie,
Yeah.
you want to go first?
Yeah. I think
No spoilers
it's
for the time being. Yeah.
no. I think it is a perfect film when as far as action movies go. This is top tier, everybody. Like it really is. It's also it's unabashedly masculine. It's unabashedly testosterone fueled. In my review, I'm actually going to compare it to like other films that are, top tier in that genre that are also just testosterone pumped, like Predator and stuff. But the intriguing thing about it is that it's like modern day masculinity the way it should be. Like it's not the hulking, trend up the ass, muscle building steroid guys. He's slick and he will kick your ass, and he does it well dressed and refined too. The gun fu, as they would be called, is unbelievable. I think this one has some of the best action set pieces and some of the most memorable of the entire series. It stands up there. I still think the first one's the best just because it came out of nowhere as a sleeper hit, and so it has pretty special place in my heart. But this is the best one since. It's the kind of film that like it's light on plot, and that's the point. And
Yeah,
that's what I appreciate about it. I have no problem with a movie having a simple story. It's what you tell me you're presenting me. And they are presenting a simple story with some intriguing things sprinkled throughout. Fun characters. They're not super deep or anything like that, but that's not the point. It is not the point of seeing this movie. What you're going to see is spectacle, and you do get a great conclusion. And I can't speak highly enough about this one. I typically probably wouldn't do a review of this, but I left the theater like I was pumping my fists. I had so much fun. I probably haven't had this much fun in the theater since Top Gun last year. I think if Top Gun was the savior of cinema, or what everyone was saying, this is like this year's offering of like, hey, remember, this is why you go to the movies, everybody.
I was just thinking it is the savior of testosterone.
It really is, yeah. And in an interesting way, it's like the modern way of doing it, which is cool. It's refined. It's the choreography is unbelievable. It's really impressive. Like some of these shots, this isn't a spoiler plot or anything, but there's a top-down action scene that kind of reminded me of the game Metal Gear Solid, if anyone had played that, and it looked unreal. I had never seen anything like that in a film. And again, like I know you were saying, Mega, that it has like a high budget, but in reality, like in today's money, and a lot of that had to go with probably towards like the whole COVID thing because it was postponed and stuff. So they probably lost money on that or had to spend extra. What they were able to pull off with that budget is incredible. I would rather see this than most movies that cost hundreds of millions of dollars. It's far superior.
I'll agree with that. Romeo?
Yeah, I think I can only echo the sentiments that movies put out. I mean, I came home last night from the cinema and I was, maybe it's a Welsh thing, I don't know, but I was full of passion for this film, and I went and recorded a video for it right away, just to get my reactions down, because gosh, it really is something. And the word I overuse, something that Cynic said as well, is memorable. I mean, I found John Wick 2 and 3 a bit bland in terms of the action. I mean, it's well choreographed, it's solid, but it doesn't really stick with you. But the action sequences in this film, you will not forget. There are many moments in this film. Some that make you. There's a moment that will make you squirm. It made everyone in our cinema squirm.
I know exactly.
Yeah. Well, no spoilers. No spoilers. It will make
Yeah.
you squirm.
Yep.
There's a moment at the end where I was clapping and cheering. This is a film you will not forget. I think it is the best of the series. I like John Wick 1, and it does a wonderful job of establishing the world and the mythology. But this is The Dark Knight of Batman Begins. It takes things to a whole new level.
Wow.
The set pieces are brilliant. That one that Cynic mentions, the top down one, is so clever. This Stahelski, he really ups his game in terms of direction and creativity with how the action unfolds. And I'll just say this quickly, that in 2 and 3, you get these long sequences of John Wick dispatching endless hordes of disposable henchmen, right? It feels a bit first-person shooter. But in this film, you get a little bit of that, but you also get a variation of things with the angles that the shots are coming from. I don't want to say it because it'll be a spoiler.
No,
I don't want to give too much more away. But I'm going to say that much like Cynic, I come out of this film feeling fantastic. It's like, yes, if Maverick saved cinema last year, this film has saved the action genre. And the gun fu, as Cynic mentioned, it's beyond equilibrium in terms of gun fu. It's really something. There are issues with it. It's not perfect. But there are issues with it, but the issues are so heavily outweighed by the positives that I would recommend this film to anybody, and twice to fans of action films. It is completely worth the price of admission, and see it in the cinema for the noise, for the big screen, and for the feeling of being there.
Would you go see it again?
Oh, absolutely. I wanted to see it right after. If I hadn't had things to do at home, I would have gone to see it twice in a row. You know,
this is making me want to throw my headphones off and go out.
Yeah.
Let's see it again.
I would have seen it twice in a row if I had planned for it, but I think the cinema was quite full when I left. But yeah, I would go and see it twice in a row. I'll definitely go see it again in the cinema before it leaves. It is so worth it.
Here you go, folks. Second time on the channel. The Mighty Iceman. Hello, Iceman. Points for mentioning Equilibrium, film I loved as a kid.
That's a good movie.
It was good
for a budget too. For the budget it had, it was very good.
So, Ian, your thoughts? No spoilers.
Well, just mirrors what the above have said.
As a director, come on.
As a director, it's. I thought it was well directed personally. It's basically a B picture with a lot of money thrown at it, definitely. And instead of when you look at B pictures, there's things they don't concentrate on because they don't have enough money. Like, for instance, they don't concentrate on the photography; they just try and shoot it flat. They concentrate on the action more so than the script. But with this film, they concentrate on all three, from the photography to the direction, and more so the action. Everything that you see is 100% on screen, and you can't say any fairer than that because that's pure filmmaking. The action sequences are really good, really good and outstanding, and you wonder how they do things sometimes. I must point out about Scott Aiken, the stunt guy, Scott Aiken. He played the guy that dealt the cards.
No spoilers.
There's no spoilers. What are you talking about? Man that deals cards. He played that guy. He was obviously padded up and stuff like that, but it was a wonderful performance by him. Usually he's just basically a stunt man. He started in a few low budget movies and stuff, but his performance was incredible in that scene. I thought he was really funny and stuff like that. But we were talking about Mandalorian. We were saying that to get to this point, you have to go here, and it was a bit of that in John Wick, wasn't there? To get to this point, you had to do that, didn't you? You had to do that and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of fun, and there's sequences in it that I just can't even fathom how they do that. Especially the car chase when they ended up in the Paris road. I just thought, how the hell did they do that? So it must be a lot of green screen work and a lot of choreographing and stuff like that. But I heard that they spent a whole year and a half choreographing all that stuff, and you can see it on the screen.
It's unreal. It's so amazing to see.
Also, I was just looking up the credits just now, and movie Cynic, Halle Berry's in the cast, and she wasn't even in the movie. How odd is that?
Hey,
was she cut then?
I don't know. She's right here.
Well, now
Halle Berry, right next to Bridget Mahoney and Lawrence Fishburne.
Well,
wow.
Now I'm going on a segue. I'm gonna go Google something.
So she's in the cast for some reason. But yeah, no, I recommend this film. If you love action movies, this is the top tier of action movies. Go and see it. I'll leave it at that.
It's definitely got its faults, though.
It has, yeah, sure. No film's perfect, though. No film.
Yeah, there's no perfect film, and there's a website that I actually I don't like it much anymore, but I still like how they used to describe their rating system, which is like they can rate something a 10 out of 10. It's very, very rare that they do, but all the same, it's not because it's flawless, because nothing can be really. And that is the flaws, like RR said, are so heavily outweighed by the what's great about the movie that it's almost like null and void. They become nitpicks, truly. And you're talking about, you know, me saying who nitpicks the shit out of stuff. So it's one of the top tier action movies probably ever made. I really am impressed with this film. I'm going there.
I said I thought this was a masterpiece.
How can I disagree?
But I'm not so sure now.
No, I mean it's
because I watched the Ben Shapiro review. So I would say, guys, I would recommend watching the Ben Shapiro.
What did he say
after you've seen it?
What did he say? Did he like it?
He didn't like it.
Well, you know, that's
and he
okay.
wanted. He says he was desperate to love it.
But the thing about reviews is that people review stuff based on who they are, right? Their background. It all comes into play when you review something, right? So Ben, he's basically he's a Jew. He believes in his religion.
What's that got to do with the price of carrots?
You not hear what I just said? I said when you review something, it all comes from who you are. So his religion might play into his concept of that movie. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't trying to be insulting or anything like that. I'm just saying that everyone brings that to everything that you do in life, isn't it? From reviews to everything. So it's quite possible that something conflict with, you know, something that was dear to him, whether it's religion or something like that.
Well, it was a good job. It wasn't a war
Can you
film then,
summarize just like in a couple sentences at least, like what his problem with it was?
Okay, so without spoiling it, folks, Ben Shapiro's review, which again, after you've watched John Wick 4, watch Shapiro's video. Fight sequence is too long.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
God. Go on, what else? What else did he say?
Very, very fetch quest, but there's one fetch quest too far for him.
Right, gotcha.
Okay.
Flaws in the logic of the plot.
Right.
Because they're obviously wanting to... this is not a spoiler, but it's kind of known. They're wanting to expand the franchise.
Yes.
And a creative decision was to perhaps, you know, change the plot a little bit for those offshoots, those other shows, keeping them in mind, which is fair enough.
I guess, but I don't know. Is Ben Shapiro just is he a professional film critic, or is he like, oh, I can also make money sitting down and talk about movie for 10 minutes?
He's pretty huge, Ben.
No, he loves his geeky stuff.
What is he part
Agree
of?
to disagree then.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what, right? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I can see what he's talking about, right? But some people watch films in a logical way, and
Yes.
you know, and if something small doesn't stand out or it doesn't work, they kind of focus on that. Everyone's different, and you know what? God bless him. If that's what he thinks of the film, that's what he thinks of the film. But I
Yeah.
know that I loved it.
It'd be
Do you know
very
what I mean?
boring if very boring if we all love the same thing. Or
Exactly. I mean, we shouldn't look down upon him if he didn't like the film. Yes, he has valid points, but to me, I don't think he gets the whole tone of the movie. You can have movies that have flaws that are really, really enjoyable, and this is one of them. In fact, Raiders of the Lost Ark had a huge flaw. If Indiana Jones didn't even bother going for the Ark, they would never have found it anyway. And then, do you know what I mean? And if they did find it, they would have got destroyed anyway. Do you know what I mean? So his involvement, kind of made the whole point. So films do have flaws.
Here you go, folks. Quickly going back to there are no perfect movies. Andre, hello, Andre. Aliens and Terminator are as close to perfect in Andre's.
I wouldn't say that, but
Lord of the Rings.
Pretty close.
Yeah, like all those films are pretty close.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'd love to hear an argument for why. The Godfather isn't even perfect. It's a 10 out of 10. That's a fucking 10.
I honestly think The Untouchables is better than The Godfather personally, because I really
sacrilege.
And what's that other one?
Good movie though.
What's the other one with oh god, my brain's gone and shut down. The other gangster film that Scorsese made, and it was really good with Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci. Goodfellas. I think Goodfellas is probably the best.
Casino's better.
Film. Do you think so?
I liked Casino better than Goodfellas, actually.
I love Goodfellas. Goodfellas was absolutely terrific, personally.
But... Well, The Godfather is fiction, whereas Goodfellas is not. Goodfellas is based on Pileggi's book. Yeah, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with this one, but I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Here you go, folks. Smilex, hello Smilex. Mega Geek is correct to some extent. Objectivity is tricky when it comes to reviewing art.
You know, I mean, the blue boy likes the Batman. We hated it, so there you go.
Here you go.
Say the Avatar.
Here you go, right. Iceman. Hello, Iceman. NBA, that's me. It sounds like Jim Browning. Am I wrong?
Jim Browning. What's
Is
that?
it Jim Boeing?
Oh, Jim.
Lovely smashing super.
Oh god.
Here's what you could have won.
I think. Can I just?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Cynic.
Oh, no,
all right. I'll throw this in quickly. I'll throw it in really quickly. So I think where we're dancing around, and the issue here is the question of, does the flaws in the film take you out of the story? Is there a suspension of disbelief? Because of course it's a John Wick film. There is going to be hyper reality, right? Nothing in that film took me out of it. Yes, there were fetch quests. No one said this is the way, thank God. But this is the way. There are fetch quests. There's mythology that makes no sense whatsoever. But does it take us out of the story? Does it take us out of the action? Does it make us go, what the fuck? No, it doesn't. And that's where this film succeeds. And it's through a simple story, brilliant performances, and I say by the supporting cast more than anything else. But that's the key issue. Are we taken out of the action, out of the story? And I would say no. We just aren't. And maybe Shapiro was, but I certainly wasn't.
Us three weren't taken out of the story, but maybe he was.
Yes, I will say Shapiro did use suspension of disbelief quite a lot in his.
But if you don't understand the over the top mentality of the film, then you're never going to get it. You know, that's the thing.
Right. This is that's kind of how I try and look at movies when I review them. Is well, you and I were talking about it a little bit before the show, but like, are you giving me what you're telling me it is?
Yeah.
Like I almost akin it to like when I make a video, how I title it, what I'm presenting you in the thumbnail. I am going to deliver what I'm promising you up front. And so like I'm not expecting the Godfather style emotional resonance with these characters when I'm watching it. I'm expecting what they're telling me it is, which is a B-level elevated action film that is going to blow my fucking socks off with minimal plot and a lot of bullets. And it does it perfectly, almost perfectly. And so in that sense, like, I'm expecting fetch quests. I'm expecting like weird lore and things to contradict themselves, but I'm firmly in that world, and I'm just I'm happily along for the ride. Like, oh, we're doing this now? Fuck yeah. All right, cool. Oh, we're doing this now? All right, that's cool too.
If I read my trivia correctly, this film would have been out 2 years ago and it was practically ready. But they decided, because of obviously the coof and other films they didn't want to release it against, they decided to sit on it and spend a little bit of extra money on the special effects. Do you think it was worth it in the end?
Absolutely.
100%.
It's an enjoyable movie. What can you say? I mean, it just gives you what you want. From the first three, you know what to expect, and it just gives you. It basically, it doesn't give you something that's rubbish. It doesn't give you something that's been done before. I mean, yes, it's been done before, but the level's gone a lot higher since the last movie. Do you know what I mean? So it gives you something what you want, but more so, and well executed. Especially in a nunchuck scene. Oh my lord!
Holy shit! Was that cool?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's so
Made me
cool.
get out. Oh, fantastic.
Again, the way Keanu Reeves handles, in inverted commas, his weapons, his weapon.
Yeah.
The weapon skills of Keanu Reeves is just, you can tell he really does know he knows what he's doing,
but also,
and he's put the hours of training in. It's just fantastic.
Did anybody pick up on the message of this film? And there is a message.
Is there a spoiler though?
No, it's not a spoiler.
Okay.
Consequences.
The message is friendship, right across the board.
Well, that's one of them.
Well, I think it's the main one. So Winston.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Winston's friend
and loyalty, friendship and loyalty,
and then you have the Chinese guy that owned the hotel. He was loyal, and then you had and then right at the ending, the guy with
Japanese
the guy with the dog, he was there to eliminate the
tracker.
And something happened. Something happened, and then suddenly his whole concept of John turns around. So it was all about friendship, and even at the ending, John Wick did not take the shot because they were spoilers. Spoilers in the beginning. What you guys down at me for?
We promised that we'd announced before when we did.
You had a big right in saying spoilers before we started.
Yeah, but we said we were going to take our time before we announced anything.
Look, how long we've been on? This is our time. So
30 minutes.
Well, it is now.
Right, okay, folks. Right,
Ian.
We're going to start getting into the meat of it in a couple of minutes.
Sorry.
Ian, you were mentioning the Tracker's character.
Yes.
And that moment, the turnaround you talk about, the turnaround, don't you think that is set up so well?
Yes.
Because there's a moment that sets that up. Yes, but the thing is, in that moment, if you think about John Wick, where he's come from, and the events that make him who he is, it plays brilliantly within the whole mythology and the character arc of John Wick himself. Yes. I thought that was a really nice touch.
It was, and that's what I'm saying. I think the message, the actual thing was all about friendship. It was all about friendship. It was about Winston's friendship with John. It was about Winston's friendship with the guy at the desk. It was about it was about the friendship with him and the guy that owned the hotel. Him and Donnie Yen's character. They were both friends, and they were forced into this situation. It was about friendship right across the board, as far as I was concerned. I think the main thing that the film was saying, after all this bloodshed, loyalty to a friend was still up high, right up there, wasn't it?
Here you go, folks. Smilex, the message is be excellent to each other.
Keanu Reeves is a man that really plays to his strengths too, because his strengths certainly aren't line delivery. He was a lot better in the 90s. I've seen him act really well in action movies. Speed, one of the greatest action movies of all time. I think if you had never watched Keanu Reeves before and watched Speed, you wouldn't walk away being like, well, that was a great movie. Keanu's not great. Like he was good. as he's grown older and settled into these roles, he's really playing to what he's good at, though, which is dedication to every other aspect of his character. He's wisely choosing characters for, he's one of the greatest action stars of all time, in my opinion. He's been in some of the greatest action movies I've ever seen. And what a way to like continue your career in your late 50s like this. So he's putting all of his effort into the way he's handling the weapons, way he's handling the guns, knives, all that stuff. Like you were saying, Mega, with the spoil of the nunchucks. But that's where his strengths lie. And it's always been fun over the years since the first John Wick came out. And you see those videos come out of him training and practicing and listening to people on podcasts that were in the military or are, in the, whatever you call it, the highest, I don't even know what the fuck it is, but people who are doing it professionally for a living. And they're like, that man is doing it perfectly. And again, like it's just the guy who's doing what he is really good at. And it's almost, they definitely seem to have cut down his dialogue almost even more.
He must have a page. He just must have a page of dialogue.
Probably had one page of dialogue, like the whole fucking movie.
It really, it's really good. The villain was quite good as well. He was very much someone that you wished that.
I will say, folks, we've warned you. The spoilers are coming. Everybody's bailing now.
Bailing. Don't be silly.
Guys, if you don't want it to be spoiled, I suggest you turn off and we will just talk bollocks at each other. You have been warned. I have got a few. Obviously, there's no kind of material that I can take screen grabs from, so I effectively just took them from the last
one,
the last trailer.
Yeah.
So I tried to see the trailers all over the place in terms of sequence. So I tried to put them together best way I can remember. So, folks, you've been warned. If you don't want it spoiling, now is the time.
Call yourselves film fans if you don't go and see it opening on the first day. What kind of a film fan are you, for God's sakes? You know what I mean? We have to dance around you guys? Come on.
Sometimes life gets in the way.
Yeah, so what?
Sometimes,
but never for movies for me.
Plus, remember, all our American friends
they've seen it before us.
Yeah, no, they're a few hours behind us. So
no, they saw it before us.
Yeah, but it opens on Thursdays here, not Fridays. It literally at 10 a.m. on Thursday, I could have gone to see it.
Because I know, Gary saw it the first screening. He saw it. I know that.
I
he
saw
it before me.
Second one I did.
So, I mean, sorry that I spoiled it for someone, but it did say spoiler in the beginning.
A third of your audience bailed.
Never mind.
Well.
Understandable, though. Understandable. I get it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, see what we've got.
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4.
That is what it's called.
Are we going to get a chapter 5?
With how much money this movie's raking in? Yup.
It's doing well.
It's doing better than all the others.
Yeah, but the question is, does Keanu want to do another one?
He said he would, as long as people want to see the movie and it's a success, he said recently. So,
yeah. It's still a lot. It's a huge commitment, isn't it? You're spending a whole year training and then, you're shooting for another year. Then again, he's got... Yeah.
Well, kind of bearing in mind, this has been wrapped effectively for 2 years, if not longer.
That's true.
Who distributed this film? Has anybody?
Lionsgate.
Yeah. Oh, Lionsgate. Lionsgate should team up with Tom Cruise's company and make John Wick meet that guy from Mission Impossible. Yeah, Ethan Hunt. That would be awesome. That would be freaking awesome because both of them are dedicated to their craft, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking this would more go in the Banshee universe because they're all Banshee's all Russian mob and mafia.
I want
and all.
John Wick to meet Nobody, that guy that was in Nobody.
Well, that is the same. That is the same.
Yeah, it's the same
universe,
universe.
Isn't it? Yeah, Nobody.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Well, there's John Wick 5.
I hope I hope they do meet because that'd be awesome. Even if they do meet in passing, if they're passing by and he says Wick and he goes,
yeah, that would be a nice.
That'd be great.
That'd be a fun Easter egg.
Here you go in the chat for the 21 who are remaining, who I assume want spoilers. Here we go. Let's just go to the. Let's just go to the. Here we go. Iceman in the chat, but he died in the end. According to the movie.
Don't get more spoilery than that.
No, it is not. That is the spoiler.
But that's the question, did he? And also, did you see the end, what happened at the end credits? Did you wait till the end?
I walked out like a twat.
Yeah, so it doesn't say anything about John, but it does say that the story may continue. So there you go.
That's why I think the theme was consequences.
Yes, yeah. Well, that too, but I still think friendship was higher than that, I think. But anyway.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first scene was the desert scene, wasn't it? When he was chasing.
No, it wasn't. The first scene where he was punching the
Makiwara.
Oh, yeah.
Really loud in the cinema because I saw it in IMAX, and sound was all around me, and I had to hold my ears. It was so freaking loud. But it was crazy.
Okay, well, I'll say the first scene I've got is the.
Oh yeah.
First action scene.
Yeah, first action scene.
But that guy deserved it, right? That guy in the beginning.
Oh, the guy who ate shit? 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
To be honest, though, if they had to cut runtime down, this is probably the one scene to me that they could have done without.
Yes.
That didn't really impact the plot that much. It didn't do anything to further John's character significantly. I mean, he did what he did. If it had not been in the film, probably wouldn't have worried about it. But after that, different story. Like once this scene's gone, the film's a whole different level.
I think it did impact on the story because the main villain was he was saying that things have changed now because he had died. Because he was one of the highest on the was it round table or I can't remember, was
the table.
The table.
Once he killed him, then that was that. Then he's a dead man walking, according to that guy. So it kind of impacted on it. But I get what you're saying. If they took it out, it really wouldn't have made a difference. They could have just referred to what he did in the last film.
Yeah, I think Shapiro's point on this was because he'd done this, it meant that the table was going to do retribution for doing this.
Yeah. So
maybe
the one
this
thing
is the
that bothered
consequence.
Honestly, the one thing that did bother me about the very opening was I was just like, well, that horse is fucking deaf. I can't believe he's not bucking him off. He's shooting a fucking pistol right next to the horse's ear. But other than that.
This bit, I mean, he goes, if you kill me, it won't make a difference, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't come out here for nothing, bitch.
Yeah.
I love it how it's the middle of the fucking desert and he's got his black suit on.
Man, that's Wick for you.
Yeah, and that's the B movie charm.
Oh,
of course he's got his suit on.
Yeah.
He should.
Very good, though.
Mm-hmm.
The question was how comes he was on his own though? Because he was really surrounded with a lot of people last time we saw this character. But
because he killed them all.
Well, there was only 3 killed, didn't he? You'd think they'd have more.
Well,
people.
How many people was he surrounded by in
a
the
lot.
Third movie?
A lot. Do you remember? He had a
maybe he killed a few off screen.
Oh, maybe
they all went after him, knowing that he was approaching, and then they turned right the fuck around.
Yeah, maybe. You're probably right. I don't know.
Why did he kill this bloke? Remind me.
Because he took his finger.
Yeah, he took his finger in his
worse
ring.
for him. Yeah.
Oh, is this the guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. He wanted his ring back.
Right.
Yep.
And he said he couldn't give it to him.
All right. So that's what. Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So there's a point to the scene.
Yeah, there is.
I think I need to revisit the other films.
I'm going to go and see it on Monday again with my nephews, and they don't know I've seen this. So I'm going to go and see it on Monday with them, and I'm going to pretend I haven't seen it. I'm going to see an IMAX in Waterloo. It's like the biggest screen in England, apparently. So
I might go again on Tuesday. in the afternoon just by myself.
I will say, Franco, if you're planning on watching John Wick 4, there's going to be spoilers, mate. And hello, mate.
Yeah,
Okay, so
my guy.
Welcome back, Mr. Wick. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Is this where the Clancy Brown person turns up?
Yes, he drops off something or something. Oh yeah, he says Claire they're gonna take it away from Winston.
Drops up the hourglass.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
he's got 1 hour.
1 hour to evacuate. But the thing I like about John Wick is that they have all these old-fashioned stuff. Like, for instance, the phones are old. I remember the tracker. He had an old phone, didn't he? They have the hourglass. They have the
Commodore computers from back in the day.
Commodore computers, and stuff like that. So there's a reason why, I guess, it's because they don't want a digital footprint. I'm assuming now on anything they do. So yeah, it's really well thought out. This world of John Wick.
Iceman says, "How come this guy didn't have a vest on? This bugged me." Well, I don't think he would if he just.
The thing is that he went with Winston because he was his friend and he wanted to support his friend. Yes. Unfortunately,
he didn't have to.
He didn't think he needed one. His mistake, of course. But
because they went to have a meeting because the Clancy Brown character put the timer 1 hour. And then, was it Ian McShane? The Winston.
Yeah, Winston.
Went with Sharon to meet the Marquis.
But the thing is, Sharon didn't have to go with him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But he decided to go. That's why I say I think it's about friendship, the message in the film. But, that's just me, right? That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice touch that Winston holds his hand as he passes away.
Yes.
From the gunshot. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. As I said, these slides are just from the trailer, folks. So there's going to be obviously massive holes.
I also want to mention too. I really liked Winston when he brought him back up again at the start of the third act, where he was mentioning how he was in emotional turmoil trying to figure out what to put on the man's gravestone, and he decided friend.
Yeah. That's why I keep saying it's about friend.
Yeah.
Also, I love that scene where he delivers the scroll to the bad guy, and those paintings are huge.
Oh my god, hilarious!
Yeah,
Brittany, my girlfriend, that we went and watched it together, and like that was the moment when she's like, "This movie is so fucking long because they did this on purpose." We walked across that hallway for so long. This was on purpose. I was like, "That's the point."
But
does anyone know if they actually filmed in the Louvre?
They did,
because
apparently.
Well, that's fantastic.
Because that scene, right? When you see that in IMAX, when you see that scene where he's walking and those huge paintings, you're like, "What the?" Anyway,
it was really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. The photography is brilliant in this film. Yeah, it really is fantastic.
And the the emotional attachment that you do get between Winston and sorry, I just forgot his name.
Sharon.
Sharon. Like, the fact that you get this in a movie that doesn't even intend to be anything but an action movie, like, it's just gravy on top of something that's already a fantastic film to watch.
Well, I think it's because of the last three. You emotionally have a bond for them, especially in the last one when Sharon picked up a gun and terminated loads of people in a really great way. So you kind of develop a bond. Emotionally to these characters, so that's why it works.
Here you go, folks. Tim, I like saying this, Hannabom. Is there a midpoint twist?
Midpoint twist?
I don't think there is there really?
I don't think so. I can't remember.
No,
I'm going to see it again.
Yeah, I mean, there's the conclusion's a massive payoff, and I thought it was done spectacularly. Like, my theater when John shoots.
I was going to say, I was going to say, let's talk about everything else apart from the very, very last scene.
Okay.
I don't understand this.
Just in case
you and Dan say
No.
the same thing. If we're talking about a movie, right? You don't expect us to go from the beginning and go straight across. That's ludicrous. We're talking about a movie. We can talk about any point. in the
I'm
movie.
looking at Skarsgård, who I am talking about his scene. At the
Okay,
end.
spoilers
And-
again, folks. You've been
right.
warned.
This is all spoilers, guys, at this point.
Yeah,
but
it is.
when John shoots Skarsgård at the end, I wanted to stand up if I wasn't going to be so fucking embarrassed. But my theater started clapping. My theater clapped.
I know.
Yeah.
I did.
It was so emotionally just rewarding. You're just like, fucking yes.
Because he was such an arse.
Yeah.
He's such a prick.
I will say there weren't all that many in the theater I went to, and normally I'm, not one of these stands up and cheers. I go, yeah, fuck you, and all that stuff. But there's a couple of moments I just thought.
But you know what?
I want to start going like a fucking seal.
That was really satisfying, right?
Yeah.
Really satisfying. Unlike when the Avengers got rid of Thanos, which was a complete dry squib. It really was. But for this, because he was being an arse all the way through, the quick death, that was just right on.
So fucking satisfying because Winston
unexpected
got his
death.
word in.
Yeah.
Right. Winston got his word in and it really built it up. And as far as Keanu's acting goes, like that instant, he's all about the facial features and in the action, right?
Yeah.
And damn, did he play that right? He had the perfect facial expression for like, you just fucked up.
Yeah.
There's
consequences.
Consequences.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see this movie right now. Bye, guys.
Yeah, it's so that duel is so masterfully set up. I really don't want to spoil it, but because the duel is drawn out a little bit, it builds us to that moment, and there's that. It's just ecstatic with that release. I don't want to say anything else more about the duel really, because the way it's done and it takes
we're
time.
Talk about it. Go look.
All right, well, that it's done in stages. That it's done in stages, and that it's not initially between Wick and the Marquis. It's between Wick and Kane.
Mm-hmm.
They're friends.
I hope we'll have time to talk about the supporting cast, because to me, as much as I love Keanu, it's the supporting cast that elevate this film.
A few stills of the supporting cast.
You got to have some real characters to surround a stoic character like that, and they do it very well. They picked a great set of actors.
Tim. I still think I like saying this, Hannah Bomb. No point talking about a movie without spoilers.
It's true.
Fair play.
Very true, Tim. Otherwise, you don't talk about anything.
It's like I hate it when people go, "Oh, let's talk about the film." They expect you to start from the beginning and keep going all the way through. No, that's not the way you talk about a movie.
We're all men. Our brains work differently.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So this is the scene directly after Sharon's been shot dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was like, whoa.
But the thing is, though,
Didn't
what was
see that
interesting, Keanu Reeves' character didn't know that this part of the high table, it was called, existed, because he asked Winston, because when he got the badge, he said, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And Winston had to explain that's the hierarchy, that you can't get any higher than this, which was quite interesting because out of all the three, he didn't know these people existed. Crazy.
Well, isn't there somebody higher than him?
There's no one higher than him. He's the top.
Oh, okay.
So that was interesting. He was in the last one, right?
No, Skarsgård was not.
No.
Oh, of course, it was the other guy that tricked him.
Yeah,
he was part of the mafia or something like that, wasn't he? He tricked, or was that the second one? I can't remember.
And this character is so good because he is just like this smarmy little bitch, but he'll put everyone else through a trial. But he's such a fucking pussy. He won't do it himself. Like when he shoves the knife through nobody's hand and gives him, he's like, you can pull it out. Or if you're really if you are really like
committed.
A soldier for the cause and committed, you'll rip it out. But this little bitch wouldn't possibly do something like that. He sends Kane to do his dirty work.
Yeah. Also, that guy next to him deserved what he got as well.
Oh yeah,
that guy was a real
ass
all the way through. Yeah, all the way through. He was an ass. But yeah, I mean, he was a good fighter though. He could fight. That man could fight.
Oh yeah.
Really, I honestly enjoyed every moment. I like that character as well.
I love this actor. I wish he was in this film more.
Yeah.
So we kind of go to Japan then, don't we?
To the hotel over there. It's connected.
He performed. Hiroyuki Sanada performed with the Royal Shakespeare Company at one point.
Mhm.
He really has a very high pedigree as an actor, as well as he's done lots of martial arts in his life outside of acting. But he's that terrible Westworld program did a segment where he played Musashi, who's like a Japanese folk hero, and you could make a show just around that. He's brilliant, this guy.
He is. I agree. I totally agree. Also, I love the dialogue when he goes to the people that he goes into the restaurant, or no, the can. What am I talking about? The place where they make the food. He goes in there and
kitchen.
The hibachi restaurant.
And he talks to.
Not that he's ever been in one.
He talks to the people on the table. He says something like, he doesn't say like that, people are coming to attack the hotel. He says something else, doesn't he?
Yeah,
we have guests.
We have guests.
Yeah, we have guests.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I like the way they do that. I love the way they do that.
For all the fact that it's an action movie, anything that they present in the story that's great is just gravy on top. So they do a lot of show don't tell. Like you have to infer a lot of things, and they give you enough clues for you to put the pieces together yourself a lot of times. And I just want to say too, this guy was so fantastic in the Mortal Kombat movie that came out a couple years ago.
He was
the best
Scorpion.
Part of that. He played Scorpion. It was fucking awesome.
He was also in he's on Bullet Train as well. He was in Bullet Train as well, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Also, I love Donnie Yen when he's just drinking his soup.
He's like he's drinking.
He was like, "Aren't you going to help us?"
Did you guys think it was super clever, like I did, with the bell thing?
The doorbells.
Yeah, the doorbells.
Yeah,
the
doorbells. Yeah,
that was brilliant.
Yeah.
So John Wick has gone to see this guy for. He's gone for shelter, I suppose.
4G.
Yeah.
No, he was a reason why he went to see him, and I can't remember what the reason was.
It wasn't for like shelter or anything.
No, it wasn't. It was for something else. I can't remember. I can't honestly. I can't remember. I can't remember.
We need the second rewatch, don't we?
Yeah,
I guess I'm just gonna have to go see it 2, 3, 4 times.
Yeah.
That sequence was quite good as well, with the arrows and the and I love how John Wick, right? I love when he puts his jacket up like and the bullets bounce.
Yes, because
it's the bulletproof
Kevlar thing, and then. He always runs out of bullets and takes somebody else's gun and checks it before he starts shooting people. It's just really inventive stuff. They know they can do that stuff, but they put the little icing on the cake as they do it. Do you know what I mean? Which makes it all the better.
And the pacing of the the action scenes, 2 and 3 can get. Did my camera die?
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness.
Whatever. No, here we go.
Again. Oh my God. But with the action scenes in 2 and 3, they can get kind of numbing. Yeah. But in this one, they do a really good job of pacing it out, and there are constant impacts that make you stay with the sequence. Yeah. Where he'll do something and you're just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I know. They have their own story. They're a story within the story. The action scenes have a sense of narrative. Right.
Here you go, folks. Neil, a new face. Hello, Neil. I really enjoyed John Wick 4. A big step up from the last one. Also, the film is gorgeous.
I know.
You are not wrong.
I've said this before. The third one, I thought had too much action in it and really just took me out of it a bit. And it wasn't, as far as I was concerned, it was just block to block action. But this had a pace to it. When this finished, it wasn't like they jumped into another action sequence after he runs away. After the what's his name, the tracker saves him and he runs away. There's a little gap between it both. But in the last one, it just seemed there was no gap and it just kept going and going, which I got really tired of. This
scene is where the table coming to get John Wick, isn't it?
Yeah.
In Japan.
Yeah.
Shapiro was complaining that all these scenes were literally, all the set pieces were 20 minutes long. And while
they weren't 20 minutes long.
While the first 3-4 minutes were fantastic, it starts getting a bit kind of video game after a while.
Yeah, but it's just the beauty of all these sequences. It's so well choreographed, and there's an art. It seems to me it's just art now when they're doing this stuff. It's
Yeah.
just beautiful art as far as I'm concerned. The fight sequence, it's done so well. It can only be described as art as far as I'm concerned. It's a different form of art.
I think Shapiro's. Oh, sorry. I think Shapiro's criticism about the video game nature applies to John Wick 2 and 3. As Cynic said, they do get a bit numbing to me, the bit first-person shooter. But here you've got not just the action choreography, the cinematography, the backup. You know, the sets are brilliant too. The sets are wonderful. But you also have these memorable characters who are fighting. So besides John, you've got Koji, you've got Kane, who to me is the real standout in this movie.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've not really followed Donnie Yen before this. I've seen him and Scott Adkins together in the Last Ip Man movie. I hope we get to start talking about Scott Adkins a bit because he's such a I'm a big fan. But it's the characters that make it so memorable, and they add that extra element to these action sequences that stops them from becoming this numbing video game experience.
No. As I said, totally agree. I think everything they do in this film is very artistic. They thought about it very carefully. They made sure that every person that has a fight, they know exactly what they're doing. Because you'll be surprised how many people get hurt and stuff like this. So yeah.
Here you go, folks. Iceman, during this scene, Donnie Yen is eating noodles.
Yeah,
great that was.
Brilliant scene. Absolutely fantastic.
Is it possible too that like the extension because of COVID actually allowed them to really, they have just completely upped their game here when it comes to the choreography. And as you said, they're telling a story within the story. The action scenes themselves have like a beginning, middle, and end. And that's an excuse that, COVID was an excuse for a lot of films that have been poor, that were delayed because of COVID. And they're like, well, COVID fucked up everything. It's like, well, why wasn't this movie fucked up? It's just an excuse.
It is an excuse. I'll tell you one thing, guys. I last week Monday I was doing a fight sequence for my web series, right? And I'm telling you, it was really hard, especially when you haven't had a day rehearsing, right? Let me tell you something. When you watch something like this, they spent more than a year on this stuff.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And with Keanu's age too, like if you watch The Matrix Resurrections, which is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, like he can't do what he used to do. In the late 90s and early 2000s anymore. He's getting older, and they're playing into his strengths. Well, he can't do like super fast kung fu anymore, so they do that sparingly here. But what he can do is kick the shit out of people with gun fu. And that's what he does. And so, he's like, when you're watching it, you're not even thinking about the fact that this is almost the 60-year-old guy. Like, he is the fucking man. And it's that suspension of disbelief. Like, I am fully into this while I'm watching it. And
he can flip people, though. He flips people over his back and stuff and trips.
Yeah, but it's more about speed. Like if you watch the fight sequence versus Agent Smith in the train station in the first movie, that motherfucker's fast. But here he's just not. He's 58 years old, so they play into his strengths, and you don't even think twice about it.
Yeah, I mean he's very fit though for his age. I mean, same thing with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, he goes to the gym. He wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's in the gym for 3 hours.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine Tom Cruise's? Diversion. Sorry, but Tom Cruise's cardio, because all those films in Mission Impossible Fallout and the Mission Impossible films in general, you would have done multiple takes. How many scenes is Tom Cruise sprinting 100% in? Right?
Yeah.
Imagine the cardio that guy's got.
Yeah. Same
Unreal.
thing with Keanu. Same thing with Keanu as well. Keanu, he's at the gym almost every day. Hits the gym. Do you know what I mean? He's very fit for his age.
Yeah, he looks crazy good. He looks so good.
I remember, what is it? Bruce Lee says there's no limit. I remember when he was alive, people kept saying to him, well, how are you going to keep going? He'll say, no, you just have to have in your head there's no limit. Doesn't matter what age you are, you just keep going. And I guess that's the mantra of Keanu and Tom.
Yeah,
true. Doesn't matter about their age.
Okay, so this was this is when the fight went indoors, and you could see Donnie Yen in the background.
Yeah. I still laugh at that. I still remember this fight. And it's so funny because everyone's wearing bulletproof stuff, and so you have to get within that mask to shoot.
Yeah,
You gotta hit the weak spots.
The weak spot to kill them.
Shoot the neck. Yeah,
so good.
It's really funny. They look really mean. Those men dressed in those.
And is this right after he was asked to, like, hey John, on your way out, kill as many as you can? And he's like, yep, we'll do.
Yes, yeah. That
here, folks, Iceman in the chat. Tom Cruise is on another level. No disrespect to Keanu.
Yeah, that's fine. They're both just killing it, so whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they're 1A, 1B. Go at it, guys.
Lots of love for Tom
I'm
Cruise
telling you,
on
that's what they should do. Mission Impossible crossed with the John Wick world. That's what they should do. You know what, right?
Ethan Hunt versus John Wick.
Yeah. So you know what, right? They
Last
did
man
this.
standing.
A lot of people said that they couldn't do it, but they did it with Tower Inferno. So they wanted Paul Newman and Steve McQueen in the movie, but they were owned by two different studios. And then somebody came up with the bright idea that should be in a film together, and Tower Inferno happened, and they negotiated. Both huge companies, Warner Brothers, and I think it was the other company, 20th Century Fox. They negotiated to share that movie, and it did happen. So don't tell me they can't do it, because they can.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Great movie.
Yeah. It's a great movie. Yeah.
Here you go. Hello, Appion. I want Nobody v John Wick.
That'd be awesome. Too. But I don't think they'll fight each other, because they belong to the same company. That's the same setup. So I would rather not them fight each other. I'd rather them have a common enemy.
Buddy. New lethal weapon.
Enemy to take out someone.
Here you go, Happy on again. Sorry I'm late, but I love this movie so much. Epic action, amazing cinematography.
Yeah, it is. Its photography is absolutely brilliant.
This film is just being absolutely universally praised. So I'm really interested to see what the box office performance, like weekend to weekend drops, are going to be. Because I am suggesting, like,
I read 70 it's taken.
Yeah, but I'm more interested in, like, what the drops are going to be from weekend to weekend.
Second week, yeah.
Yeah, because
I don't think I think it'll
hold. There's no competition.
Yeah. Here you go, John Z, or is it John Z? Let's not get bogged down on Facebook.
I just hope there's going to be a 5. If it's as good as this one, I'm all in.
They're putting a lot of care in, so there's no reason for me so far to be like, oh no, don't do another one. No, do another one.
Here you go, folks. Neil, this is why this film is so good. Something I like about this movie is that it has diversity. It's not in your face.
That's right.
Everyone has a chance to shine and have distinct characters.
Yep. They have people from all over the world.
Have that Disney.
Yeah, it's because, like, the actors just happen to be there. No one's just like, well, I'm a woman, so I'm going to be better than you, John. Like, shut the fuck up. That didn't happen. None of that happened.
Speaking of women, this is the daughter of the hotel owner,
I love that scene.
Yeah.
That was great.
How many times
How
many times did she stab that guy?
Yeah.
There you go.
How many times?
It's where you just go, oh my God, and just like lean back smiling, you know?
Yeah. It's, and also, again, right, even from this guy, the performance is up there. You know, I mean, I've seen stuntmen perform before and they were really terrible. But this guy, he's obviously a stuntman, this guy. Yeah.
Here you go, Tim. I like saying this, Hannah Bomb. Good as it is, it's too violent for many. Won't reach 1 billion.
You may be
600.
right.
Didn't I say 600 or 700 myself, Brownie? You said 1 billion. And I said no.
Yeah, I think I just got a bit too excited for the.
I mean, that would be awesome, but
yeah. But the thing is, though, these sets are created for maximum photography.
Beautiful.
I mean, the lights, the colors, everything. You know, even the what is it? The museums they go to.
Yeah.
They pick the best angles for the shot, and they create the scene around that shot. I mean, they had enough money to do what they had to do at the end of the day, and they did it in style. So
And there's
know.
synergy there because these scenes, the cinematography is so wild and it's very vibrant. A lot of RGB color, like I like, and the
lots of
soundtrack,
complementary colors, which really take you into it.
And the soundtrack is super complementary to the visuals on the screen too.
Yeah.
Like the banging techno music works so well in these scenes.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I knew the music was there, but I didn't register the music at all. I actually would prefer if it was just an orchestral score personally, but that's just me. But I think an orchestral score, you'll remember the orchestral score more than the music that they used in the film. But then it wouldn't be John Wick if it didn't have that kind of music in there.
It wouldn't be that style.
Yeah.
Really, I thought the musical cues, the use of Paint It Black and Nowhere to Run, I thought they were they dropped in quite nicely.
No, Nowhere to Run. That sequence, as I said to Brown and I said to Blue Boy, that sequence is a homage to the Warriors. If you've ever seen the Warriors, they do the same scene, and they play the same song, and it's the same shot with the woman's lips. And so if you look at that clip from the Warriors, you'll see where they got it from. So yeah, it's either a rip-off or a homage. Make of it as you will.
Okay, so as I said, going back to a previous comment, this girl, she's obviously going to get a spin-off.
You think so?
Yeah, they're setting it up for a spin-off.
Yeah, I do believe.
Expanded universe.
Is it a TV show?
Oh, I don't know. Can you imagine Donnie Yen doing a TV show? Fucking hell,
just thinking that, her and Donnie Yen.
Wow.
Donnie
Yen, the differences.
Donnie Yen, is huge in what countries he come from?
He's China.
China. He produces, he directs, he choreographs fights, he writes
his own fights. Yeah.
He's been in 4 Ip Man movies, and he's brilliant in that. Do you know what I mean? So he doesn't really need America at all. He doesn't need American money at all. He's like a god over where he comes from. You know what I mean?
Shapiro said Donnie Yen in this film was doing Donnie Yen doing Rogue One.
Oh, I can't agree with that.
No.
I mean, the character in Rogue One really didn't do much for me. And there's the similar theme of a character who's blind. But all his mannerisms, the way he moved the cane, his movements, his feeling things, the way he did that in this film was so much a part of the character's personality that, to me, Donnie Yen, no disrespect to Keanu, but to me, Donnie Yen is the standout performer of this film. Every scene he's in, he just takes it over. You can't stop watching him. Even when they're at the end, they're in the church together before the duel. In the church, just sitting there quietly. That Yen just captures everything in each scene, and it's his physical performance as much as his acting. And on that, the physical performance in the action scenes, the grace and the distinctive fighting style as a blind man would have. I just cannot say enough good things about him.
It was very fluid.
Oh, so graceful and so fluid. And he's 59.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he had so much charisma. One line that stands out to me was when the number one henchman was like, "You can't kill me," and he just like smacks the shit out of him. "I can hit you, motherfucker."
Yeah.
It's so good.
So Wick escapes Japan, and this is where he sees Winston, isn't it? He's at the
memorial.
Memorial of
Sharon, yeah.
Sharon, yeah. And all the other, there's lots of other graves as well, isn't there? And this is where, is this where he's telling him about the higher level, the next level? Because he gives him the pin, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah, he shows him the pin, questions him about it. Yeah.
Then the duel, he plants the seed for the duel. Yes. He's kind of manipulating events here, Winston, to his own advantage. He needs the marquee removed. He wants revenge for Sharon, and he knows Wick is the instrument to get it for him.
And get his hotel back.
Yeah, and get his own, exactly, the angle. That's what Wick talks about. You're always playing an angle. And we find out here that now Wick has to return to his family and get his ticket reinstated. So this is a key scene. This is a very important scene.
Mm-hmm.
This is where they have to find the people in Berlin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite spooky seeing Berlin like that at night. You know, do they go to the Reichstag? Do they go past there? Yeah, or is it the Nuremberg? I can't remember the name of the memorial they go by, but it has quite a spooky vibe to it. You know.
I was going to say.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Okay, so this is where it goes to Berlin, isn't it? To the fetch quest, as it were. The Russian family who he wants to get the stamp from. Did this guy killed one of them? Is that right?
Piotr.
Yeah,
I think was killed by this guy.
Yeah, his family member.
So Wick has got to kill this guy to get the stamp, as it were, to be joined to the family. So
in this entire scene, there was so much tension.
The cards.
Yeah, the card scene, and essentially the Mexican standoff. I just thought it was brilliant. I thought the pacing of it. I was on. It's going to explode. You're just waiting. The tension is building, and you're just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, what did you think of Scott? Because Scott Adkins, I'm a huge fan of Scott Adkins.
I've never
got a hashtag Scott Adkins for Batman. Scott Adkins, he's done a lot of B movies, as someone said earlier. He was in Doctor Strange as basically an overrated extra. He's a martial arts expert, British martial arts expert.
Yes.
And he's done a lot of B movies.
I've met him a couple of times.
But he's playing this in a fat suit, and to me, I thought his performance here was fantastic.
Yeah.
Even before he starts kicking the shit out of John, and I'm hoping that this performance here elevates him so he actually gets some roles that he's really worthy of, because he's a guy who could be at least one of the more bigger stars in bigger name action films.
Yeah. In fact, Scott's been in Ip Man 4.
Yeah, Ip Man 4. He fights Donnie Yen.
Yeah, he fights Donnie Yen at the ending. And also, Ian, you would know him from the Corridor Crew. He was one of the people sitting on the sofa talking about martial arts sequences. I don't know if you ever watched any of them. He's in one of them. Yeah, so Scott's a really accomplished stuntman, and now he's becoming a really good actor, because this performance was absolutely stellar.
Didn't he tweet before saying this was just a blast, and I hope you all
I think
enjoyed
so.
it.
I think so. I'm not really following him.
I saw that. Yeah. Here you go, Iceman quickly becoming wingman.
Brandenburg Gate, that's the one. Thank you.
Brandenburg Gate, Museum Island are locations in Berlin. Neil, favorite sequence in it? Yeah, it was good.
Also, another tribute to a TV show in John Wick 4. It's quite interesting how they've put a lot of tributes in this film to TV shows and movies, which the others didn't. Was Kung Fu. I don't know if you guys ever used to watch Kung Fu.
I used to watch it,
David Carradine?
With David Carradine.
Yeah.
The bit where he had to get the mark.
From the cauldron.
Interesting. Yeah, from the cauldron. Yeah, it's interesting.
When you can take the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave.
To leave, yeah. So I used to love Kung Fu. I really did. And that was a show that wasn't about Kung Fu. It was about wisdom. So there you go.
Well, you are the wise elder of the channel, but there you go. Let's move on.
Oh, Donnie Yen, come on. Come on.
This was the Mexican standoff in the club, wasn't it?
Yep. Bad motherfucker.
That guy is unbelievable. It's a shame he hasn't been noticed over here more so.
It's just worth going back to see this just for Donnie Yen. It was fucking superb. Totally stole the show.
When he was first introduced, I didn't think it was going to be... I was like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this villain. And then once he actually got to the Continental in Japan, and you really got to see his charisma, I was like, oh, okay. And as the movie was going, he just became probably the highlight for me.
Yeah.
Was he the
Same.
villain or the reluctant?
He
Well,
wasn't.
yeah, I mean, well, whatever. He's his adversary in the movie, whether it's reluctant or not.
Yeah.
He is.
Well,
You have
blackmailed.
right. I mean, you do have the primary bad guy that's in the background
Yeah.
there with Skarsgård, but
Yeah.
But the thing about John Wick is that he has a lot of humanity about him. Like, for instance, he had a chance to, I think it was number 2 or number 3, he had a chance to kill the black guy in the tube, but he didn't. He had a chance to kill the skinny girl that played Batwoman, but he didn't. Do you know what I mean? So he has a lot of humanity, and I think that's the reason why he has made friends, because maybe there was a point where he was going to kill him and he didn't. Do you know what I mean? So they kind of think they owe him something. But that's the character, isn't it? That he's not he kills when he has to, but there's a humanity towards John Wick. That's the thing, I think, that you're attracted to about him. So save the dog. Come on.
It's all about the dog.
Yeah.
well, yeah.
So it all kicks off, doesn't it?
They all had good hands though, didn't they? Card wise.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did.
What are the chances of that? Didn't one have 5 4s?
Scott Adkins had
something,
5
yeah.
2s.
Yeah, how could you have that?
But he
Johnny,
cheated,
I think,
though.
had 4 of a kind.
Yeah.
And the tracker had a royal flush.
But he cheated though, didn't he? Because actually say that he cheated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, he dealt from the bottom of the deck. The bottom of the deck. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was very well done. Like movie said, because they take the time to show each of their hands, it builds the tension. So when it explodes, you really get invested as an audience member.
Also, right, I just knew once they gave John Wick the card, he was going to use that as a weapon.
Oh yeah,
I just knew
Yeah.
that he was going to do that.
So
I was
satisfying.
like, that's the biggest mistake you've made, mate.
Yeah,
Gave him some
yeah.
cards. Yeah, it's a good scene.
So this is where it all kicks off in the techno club, then, isn't it?
Yeah, it actually reminds me of Bullseye in Daredevil, because Bullseye used to use playing cards to kill people.
Oh yeah.
I think
yeah.
Shapiro said the Scott Adkins character was effectively Kingpin.
I wouldn't go that far.
Penguin maybe.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I got. Was
Yeah.
Colin Farrell's Penguin.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Here you go, folks. Iceman, dumbest sequence in the movie, this fight sequence. People dancing while people with guns and swords are killing each other.
Well,
Perhaps
they did start running. It wasn't like
Yeah.
that.
It's Berlin. Come on.
Yeah. They'll be
You
all
can
up
also
to tits.
suspend your disbelief here too, because the music is like, so fucking loud, and you have a waterfall falling down, and
Yeah.
everyone's moving. Like, how do you necessarily distinguish a shot or whatever? And how do you know these people aren't just
performing?
Right? Yeah. So, I had no problem with that whatsoever. Plus, we've seen that before. Didn't they have a fight scene in a dance hall somewhere else?
Yeah.
And I think part 2 maybe. So I was already fully engaged here. Plus, the death of Scott Adkins' character is that was one of those cover your mouth like, oh shit moments.
That hurts. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, it's no mistake they've got rain, because rain for people who like stuff, photography, director of photography, they love rain, putting rain in there.
Well, this was just
in their
waterfalls,
shots.
wasn't it?
I mean, you just got to look at Blade Runner all the way through. It's raining.
I wonder if that is a real club, because fucking hell, that looks a great club.
Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun.
It does.
Well, I think it's a lot of CGI there. A lot of CGI people.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say there's a lot of things that remind me of the Matrix sequels, because so many people that made those films participated in this, and it's almost like they went back and corrected a lot of things.
The second one.
Yeah, well, in the third movie, they had in the final fight between Smith and Neo, they had fighting in the rain, and they had a silhouette sequence of them battling it out, and like it was cool. I understood what the idea was. But it didn't quite do it for me. And here it's like those people that made those sequences came together and did it perfectly this time.
This club reminds me of the club in the last Mission Impossible film.
Yeah,
the one in,
yeah.
it might be the same
In Paris.
place. Yeah, it might be the same place. So I don't know.
Here you go, folks. John Z, is it John Z? It was always raining in Blade Runner because the future is very humid.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, it's the past now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
It's the past now.
but it's all, I mean, director photography, the people that do photography for movies, rain, it adds so much. Smoke and rain add so much to the light of a movie. It makes it more romantic, but also it adds a texture when you add rain. So that's why, you know, especially the old films in the 40s when it was black and white, they always used to have rain and shards of light and stuff like that. So yeah. What a fantastic bloody scene. See, Mission Impossible did this as well, didn't they? They had a scene.
Yeah, Henry Cavill meets oh god, she was Queen of Wakanda. Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
Angela Bassett meets Henry Cavill, same spot.
Yeah, same spot.
I will say if some of these stills are out of sequence, I do apologize. I think I got them all in the right. I think I got them all in the right order with my addled brain.
How old is Ian McShane now?
74, I think.
Yeah,
you know what? He's one of the coolest 74 people I've ever seen in my life. Cool.
Lovejoy, everybody.
Man, he was amazing in Lovejoy.
My favorite performance of his was Shawshank Redemption.
Was he in Shawshank Redemption?
Clancy Brown.
Oh,
that's
we're talking about
Ian McShane.
Ian McShane. Yeah, I think Clancy Brown's only mid to late 60s. I think he's a bit younger.
Private Zim, everybody.
Sergeant,
Private.
So it was Sergeant Zim originally. Was he not his drill instructor? Do you get me? We got you, sir.
He busted himself down to private.
Oh, he did. Put your hand on that wall, soldier. The enemy cannot push a button if you disable his hand.
In was it Shawshank? They say he cried like a baby when he got arrested.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Captain Hadley.
Yeah.
You go happy on Clancy Brown, Highlander.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I have references to that. It's one of my favorite films, Highlander. References to that and stuff that I write.
Never got into Highlander.
I loved. There was something about Highlander.
No, not.
It's not a great movie, but there's something about it. There's something about the first one that's really good.
It's a kind of magic.
Yeah.
I remember liking the show when I was a little kid.
All right.
Duncan MacLeod.
Oh yeah, he was it was Chris Lambert's performance that did it for me. He was so bad.
It's Lambert, not Lambert's.
Lambert.
He would go fucking mental if you said it's Lambert.
Right.
Okay. So this is where they're proposing the shooting at dawn. Yes.
Yes. The duel.
Yes.
And what a coward, eh? I put up, what's his name, Kane. What a freaking coward.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't even do it himself, did he?
No.
Nope.
Fucking hell, that's a bit bad, isn't it?
But he wanted the coup de grace.
He did.
He wanted the glory without earning it. Yeah, bitch.
That's right.
Nice screen grab.
He's almost falling asleep there.
Is it just me, or is Lawrence Fishburne going fucking crazy in his old age?
He is, but the thing is, though, he's
not just him.
Him and Denzel Washington. They're getting bigger and bigger, aren't they? It's like they've just given up on. They just eat as much as they can.
Yeah. I honestly think he would have been brought back for Matrix Resurrections if he didn't look the way he did.
Yeah,
like you're talking about, Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu both looking incredible in their old age, and he's just like,
I don't think he was asked.
Must be a Canadian thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he was asked because of what
because
he
of
looks
his weight.
like now. Yeah, it's just what he's,
Well, he dodged the bullet there anyway. So
he did.
Yeah.
The huge sin of that film would be recreating Agent Smith without Hugo Weaving. To me, that is just wrong on every level. Better not to use the character at all.
Yeah,
or not make the film at all.
Yeah, I am a Matrix fanatic. So that movie was so offensive. That was the true catalyst for starting the Movie Cynic channel.
Oh, good for you.
I hated that movie, and that was the movie I practiced of making videos on. Someday I will release it because it's so fucking long, it'll rival the Little Platoons video. So that's how mad I was about this movie.
I watched 25 minutes of that film and I thought, fuck
25
this
minutes
shit,
too much.
turned it off.
Yep.
It was rubbish.
It was beyond
really,
rubbish.
Yeah.
I will make
so
the case that it's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Oh.
Here you go, Neil.
Yep.
Yes.
Do you think there's much? Do you think there's a much credence to the theory that Lana Wachowski made it shit on purpose?
Yes,
it was intentionally made to be shit.
Yes, I do think that you could probably make that argument because I feel like with the rumors that were surrounding it when she was like, okay, you're going to fuck this up because we don't need a fourth one. And if anyone's going to fuck it up, it's going to be me. And like, I guess, but please just don't make the movie.
Iceman asks the question, you actually watched Resurrection? Yeah, 25 minutes. And I thought, fuck this shit.
I watched the whole thing.
So did I. I thought it was awful. Watched the whole thing. I thought it was awful. And also, I didn't even watch it in the cinema. Somebody sent it to me.
I watched it at home because it was for free on HBO Max.
Didn't your love for the previous Matrix films just think off?
No, I thought it was dead after the third one. I thought the second one was acceptable.
I do too.
The third one was absolutely awful.
I'm such a freak.
5 minutes.
I can watch more than 5.
We know you're a freak.
No, but I'm such a freak for these movies in particular that I'm last year too, after Resurrections was trash, I downloaded copies of 2 and 3 and edited it together into one movie and like completely rearranged the entire movie myself and made a 3-hour perfect sequel. There is a perfect movie in there somewhere if you combine both movies and remove a ton of parts. And so like when I watch those, I just watch the first movie as a whole and my edit of the sequels.
It's better.
Cynic, have you read Grant Morrison's The Invisibles?
I have not. I never really got into anything by Grant Morrison. Not any offense to him.
Fair play. Because I asked that because there's a theory as well that a lot of the Matrix is lifted from The Invisibles. And it's particularly there's one chapter called Bloody Hell in America. And if you read it and the themes of it and the ideas behind it, that reality is not real, it's a holographic projection. And anyway, it's a simulation. But if you read it, you will see that the Wachowskis drew a lot of source material from it. They're big comic book fans. And there's a still, speaking of comics and the Matrix, that's a shot of Smith in the third film floating in the air with lightning behind him.
Oh yeah.
And that is
like
taken
lightning wings too. I remember that.
Yeah, but it's taken from an Alan Moore comic book from 1986, I think, Miracle Man, which Marvel republished a couple of years ago.
Oh
but
yeah, I know
that still,
Man.
Yeah, that still is taken from Miracle Man 3, I think, with Kid Miracle Man. It's almost virtually identical.
That doesn't surprise me because they've been accused of lifting a lot of things, and so yeah, most likely. I also just at some point I stopped caring about that because I'm just like, well, you know what? I'm really glad Led Zeppelin ripped off that band and wrote Stairway to Heaven because that is way fucking better than what that band did. So who cares?
Just going back to your edit of that film, somebody did a re-edit of the last Indiana Jones movie with starred Shia LaBeouf, and it was much better. It was.
I can better. Smoking Wraith. I can send you that. That wouldn't be a problem.
Was it 5 minutes long?
No, it's under. It's about 3 hours. But I swear to you, it is a perfect edit. It's a worthy sequel at last. It's 1 3-hour movie.
But you do get influenced by talking as a creative myself. You do get influenced by lots of things that actually touch you. Like, I don't know if you guys have read Born Again, Daredevil Born Again.
Yes, absolutely.
Read it?
When it came out.
Okay, so there's this sequence in Born Again when the hit woman who's dressed like a nurse kills this guy in the hospital. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, I thought it was Ben Urich's wife
Yeah.
she kills.
No, she doesn't kill the wife. She kills this guy.
Oh, she kills the
Yeah, and
I remember that.
Ben Urich's on the phone to her, and so she rings him up and she says, "My boss wants you to hear this," and she strangles that guy in the bed, and the scene plays out where he's on the phone, and everyone around him is saying something like, "Oh my God, I'm going to die. Jameson, I haven't met the deadline. I'm going to die." And another guy says, we're dead. You know, right across him while this guy's getting strangled, while he's hearing this guy getting strangled. For all those words, dead around him and stuff like that, which I thought was quite clever. And I actually used that in one of my movies. So I do understand how if you watch Bad Day, you'll understand there's a scene in Bad Day where somebody's literally getting killed and there's like a person on the radio and they're actually saying things that's connected to the person getting killed. But
brilliant. I'll look for that.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Bad Days on Netflix. But if that's what I'm saying, sometimes you just can't avoid it. You think something is so good, how can you twist it and put it in this thing? And that's what people do. You know, I don't blame them for doing it. And as Movie Cynic just mentioned, was it Road to Perdition? You know, and they actually lifted a lot of stuff from the comic that was based on, you know. But do you actually say the credit comes from the director or does it come from the comic? That's the question. You know, so anyway, I went off on one, sorry.
42 regular.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. This is the Kevlar suit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here you go, folks. Big Killer, just got back from watching it.
Thoughts,
Big Killer.
sir?
Thoughts?
Yeah.
Drop us your thoughts.
Yeah, let us know what you thought, mate. I'm a 42 regular.
As honestly, that suit is just fantastic, isn't it? Let's face it, fits him so well.
It is
Kevlar lined.
Yeah. Shame he's not wearing a Kevlar hat.
Shapiro was going on about why isn't the shirt
I was wondering that too.
Kevlar?
I was wondering that myself because I thought, John wouldn't do this in a fight. That's very unfair.
Yeah,
and he wouldn't be like that.
He's always putting the lapel of the jacket up, isn't it? I mean, the one side of the jacket up to protect himself.
Yeah.
Well, in the duel, he specifically takes off the jacket and the waistcoat.
Yeah, he does.
To negate any sort of advantage.
And when Lawrence Fishburne's character was handing him the suit, I assumed the entire thing was made out of Kevlar. Yeah, the shirt, the tie, the whole shebang. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. These little things, right? They're holes. You can call them holes in the plot or whatever. But the thing is, though, the nature of the film, you accept it because of the nature of the film. Do you know what I mean? It's not meant to be totally realistic and stuff. Do you know? It's like when you watch the Iron Man films. How can all those things when you see inside his mask? How can you see those things? The mask must be inches away from his eyes. How can you? I don't understand how you can see all that stuff.
He must have perfect vision to be able to.
Or maybe it creates a 3D thing inside the mask or something. I don't know. So, but we accept that, don't we?
Here you go, Big Killer. Great movie, and I think Mr. Nobody was related to Halle Berry's character from Wick 3.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a good shout, that.
Yeah, maybe.
Because of the dog, yeah. I'd agree with that.
I mean, we're getting dropped into fantasy worlds or surreal things or elevated reality, and I'm along for the ride as long as you stay consistent with the world you've built, and they very much do.
They do, yeah. They definitely do. You know, I mean, I don't understand when people go off on one and stuff like that, but then again, I do understand. You know, everybody's different, right? So I love that gun, by the way.
It's his own special gun, isn't it?
Yeah. Very awesome. Yes.
I want one of them.
I know. I left the theater being like, I don't own any guns, but I fucking want one.
Reduced muzzle flash as well, practically invisible.
Well, it's rubbish though, because there was muzzle flashes when he was shooting everybody. Yeah. He was literally killing everybody.
Yeah, it's got to look cool, man.
He's under the in the subways under Paris, and he's got to get to the
Sacré-Cœur.
Yeah,
Sacré-Cœur
for dawn.
Sacred Heart.
3.
Yeah.
Couldn't he not gone in a tank?
Well, Shapiro said, why didn't he go closer? Why didn't he go later?
Yeah, I mean, I asked myself that question as well. But again, I would say it's the nature of the film, isn't it?
It's little nitpicks. Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's like playing, I don't know. It's like playing Pac-Man without Pac-Man, if you know what I mean. So it has to have those kind of things in there because that's the kind of movie it is. But that's no excuse, though. Let's face it.
You go, Big Killer. If I was an assassin, there would be no amount of money for me to take on John Wick.
Yeah.
And who's to say he was going to the why does it matter that he was going to the church 30 minutes earlier or whatever? If he had left later, he would have been fucked because all these assassins were out to get him.
Yeah, because the marquee was hoping that they could take him out before he'd got to the
Like maybe he was just leaving to get there 15, 20 minutes early and it was fine. But then, they put the bounty on him. They jacked up the price and everyone came out of the woodwork. And
But you know what, though, guys? Did you not think the way I thought? Like, for instance, when he gave him the suit and then he pulled the trigger or whatever, and then the next scene was the woman on the mic saying, John Wick is going to be here, blah, blah, here, anyone can stop him. And then the price goes up. And when they did that, I was thinking, yes, more.
Oh, yeah.
More shooting.
Yes, I was super satisfied that they did that because I was like, oh, yeah, one more big
I thought
action sequence.
He was just going to go from there to the duel. And I was thinking, oh, okay, well, maybe the end is coming. He's not. And it's like, no. It's like...
I'll be honest. The bullets, one thing, but the vehicular impacts, I thought stretched disbelief a little bit. He gets hit by a couple of cars, and he takes some impacts in that movie. I mean, falling down the stairs is one thing altogether, but some of the impacts from the vehicles at the Arc de Triomphe pushed it a little bit for me. Didn't wreck the film, just pushed it a little. It was a stretch. Yeah.
Basically, it did a homage to itself, didn't it? It gave him his car back.
Right.
Yeah.
It didn't wreck it for me at all because once you got to the stair sequence and it went on and on when he fell, that was when you're like, this movie is right there with me. It understands what it is and I understand what it is and it's winking at me and you know what I mean?
Dear.
So that didn't really, it didn't remove me from the film. I was just like, yep, that's what we're doing right now.
You're getting stimulated, aren't you?
I am. I want to go see it right now.
Look how stunts have gotten. Like, for instance, if somebody fell off a balcony in the old days, they would just fall and hit the ground. But in John Wick, he falls off and he hits his back on something.
Yeah. Here you go. Look, here you go. Up on. He falls from like 4 or 5 stories at one point. Yeah.
In the club when he's thrown over the edge and hits his back on that pillar and falls all the way to the ground and just stands up and like at that point. The car impact an hour later isn't going to bother me.
Yeah, well,
he does acknowledge pain, though. He does acknowledge pain.
Yes.
He acknowledges it.
Do you know what? It can be done because I've seen a Jackie Chan film and somebody literally did it. Jumped out of a window, smashed through something, hit the car and fell on the ground. And that was all done for real. So you have to know how to fall as a stuntman to actually make that work. So it can be done. So maybe John Wick knows how to fall.
Right. He's done it a lot. So he knows how to do it.
Neil, the whole Dragon Breath shotgun sequence was really
nice. That was the top down.
Yes.
That was so cool. With the incendiary rounds. That was
I kind of get the feeling that's where the extra production and money went on that scene.
It could be.
You know how much CGI was involved in that scene? The bit where he was looking down, there was a lot of CGI involved in that.
Yeah.
But it's very well done.
Yeah.
But that was all like one, I'm sure there was a lot of editing involved, but they made it smooth and look like one take, right?
Yeah, continuous take.
Yeah.
It was good.
What is the Ian McShane character saying here?
He's just saying, I can't remember. Does he say have fun out there?
Oh yeah, just remember to have fun.
Jonathan, yes.
No, doesn't he say that before the duel? He said that before the duel.
Yeah,
because his life's on the line. He's going to be killed as well.
Is it things are about to get interesting or something like that?
Yeah, just have fun out there.
Yeah,
that's the duel. I think
that's another thing of like a little nod to the audience too. Of like this this is the movie you're in. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the scene in the chateau, isn't it, with the above and the dragon shotgun.
What makes me laugh is that he goes in that place and nobody lives there. He's like shooting up everything.
Yeah.
He's like deserted.
Yeah. I think I got the slide out of order there, but
that's a really good scene, actually. Really, really good.
Yeah,
scene.
this. It was just lots of aerial shots like this, which were just
this
absolutely
was amazing.
Fantastic.
It's funny because people go and see this and they wouldn't realize this is just one shot, even though it's done
right.
by
You're just taking it in, but if you, when you give it a thought, you're like, oh my god! Imagine how much work went into this.
Yeah, but people just watch it and they think it was all done in one.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
Here you go, Iceman. Also, the top-down action sequence with fire-breathing gun was a oneer, I believe. Wow.
Well, I think there was visual effects involved in that, especially when they go over
clever editing.
So they'll go over a roof or a top of the thing, and they'll cut from there.
Yeah,
so there's no way this would have been done in one take.
Where the partition, where there was a partition, that's where the clever editing and shooting was. Yeah,
definitely. Although it has been. Like if you watch The Untouchables, there's one scene where it's just all done in one shot and it went on for a minute. So it can be done, but not something like this, which involves fire and stuff like that. So no,
Which sequence is that, Ian?
It's the bit where before the accountant gets killed in the lift.
Oh.
So there's a scene in it where it doesn't cut; it keeps going. So it follows Sean Connery and Kevin Costner. It keeps going, and then once they go, past
they leave,
lady,
and Nitty comes into the building.
Yeah, and then passes the lady. It follows the lady, and then you see Nitty, and then you see him taking the guy in the lift, and it's like I think it's less than a minute that scene happens. So it's all done in a oneer with Steadicam.
Here you go, Neil. I believe they used a special rig for the camera.
I would believe that.
Yeah, I would believe it too.
Yeah, I definitely believe that.
Absolutely brilliant.
There's a sequence like that in Fellowship of the Ring towards the end before Boromir's death, where the Uruk-hai are running down the hill. And I know because I visited the location here in New Zealand, and I know Jackson rigged cameras throughout the trees on a track that he could follow, because there's a long continuous take of the Uruk-hai running down to confront Boromir and the hobbits. So maybe it was done in a similar fashion.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was one. It's called oneers. Spielberg's really famous for his Spielberg oneers, they're called, but it was done in the 40s and the 50s because they just wanted everything to be done fast. They used to do everything in one take or a scene in one take. So yeah, one and done. So yeah, but this is definitely CGI involved in this stuff. There's no way.
Oh, you can tell
about fire.
The fire sometimes looked a little bit suspect, but
also you got squibs in walls and stuff like that. Some of them were done by CGI, but they seem very real. That the dust and everything. So
okay, so he manages to get out of the chateau and then obviously falls out.
Yeah, that's the
this
bit
is where this is the Warriors stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, the homage to the Warriors. Yeah. So I'll put the link so you can see it's. If I can get it. Do
you want to put it in the?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
In the Pratt. In the
Pratt.
Put it in the Pratt, everybody. Put it on the YouTube chat so everybody else can see.
Yeah, I will, because it's definitely a homage to it.
Yeah.
Nowhere to run. Oh, am I not on the? I'm not on the wrong one, am I?
So this is where they basically saying there is a bounty. It's so much. Everyone go for it.
And I don't even like bounty.
Yeah, literally, the entire Paris starts moving to get him.
Link there, and I'll try and put it in the chat as well.
Oh, here you go. I'll go back to that. Here you go, Franco. Nice 12-track TIAC, reel to reel.
Yeah, they did the same thing in the Warriors as well.
There you go.
Yep, come out to play.
Ian, who is Rebecca Gold, there's a link there. That's the Warriors
That's the link,
sequence, folks. When you can, have a look after this.
And I played the same song. But the girl didn't have a ring on her nose.
Yeah.
I love this scene though.
Because it goes to the Arc de Triomphe, isn't it?
Yeah, he gets hit by the car, and as he's on top of the bonnet, he starts shooting the guy driving the car. It was like, what the hell? Yeah. But again, I would say I don't know how they did this scene, because this scene was all CGI. Do you remember the scene in the last movie where he had the sword fight with the horses and the bikes? That was all done CGI, all of it. Do you know what I mean?
Holy
Even the background.
Yeah, that was all green screen. Yeah.
He wasn't even on the bike. And the horse and the bridge. The bridge was CGI as well. They weren't even on that bridge.
Wow.
So yeah, you can look it up. It's on YouTube.
Well, it's nice to know that people can use CGI as a tool instead of the actual, spectacle. That's impressive.
You go, Appion, absolutely insane shootout.
Yeah.
This is where I was in my theater. I was like, there are no cops in John Wick world.
No. Well, there was one. There was one in the first one.
The first movie, and they were like on the side. You back to work, John?
Yeah. Back to work, John. Yeah.
Working again?
I'll leave you be then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is really funny because in the last Mission Impossible film, they had a place there on there, so they must have been mirroring each other. It's really weird.
Well, it's a great location. I mean, and the Arc de Triomphe is that crazy.
Yeah.
The traffic is that mad. So
this must have been a real night shoot, middle of the night shoot.
I don't know if it was. There's a lot of CGI involved in this scene, and it just does my head in. I can't figure out how they did it. But
perhaps
there's
the balance of both.
But there's no way they shot all of this there. Absolutely no way.
You'd kill for Rebecca Gold to be this good, wouldn't you?
Well, I'd kill for the budget. Budget, yeah, definitely. I'm telling you, it's so difficult. Trying to get a girl to throw a punch is just a nightmare. It really is. It'd be an utter nightmare. So
that's funny.
Yeah.
And I think this is where the head henchman gets done over by the dog.
No, he doesn't.
No, not yet.
Yeah, he gets
it's the stairs where he.
Yep. This is where he throws the dog into a windshield, and the dog's just like, bitch.
Yeah. I think it's a really good sequence. Sorry,
I think we're getting towards the end now because, as I said, I could only get slides from the trailer, and there's nothing of the final part.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine they'd put the duel in there.
Yeah, so that's the dog.
There's the boy.
Yeah.
Now, if Platoon comes back and says he saw this in Indonesia, I'm going to have to question it. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to question his review on it, because if you don't watch the film in the way it's supposed to be seen, then how can you make a judgment call on it?
Ian, please, specifically the point about Avatar and the Lord.
Well, that's the same thing. But the thing is, though, everyone's entitled to their opinions, right? I mean, if you haven't seen it in 3D and IMAX the way it's meant to be seen, then how can you make a judgment call on it? You know, I mean, I understand the story's shit. But I won't go down that rabbit hole. I don't know.
Just bear with me, guys. Talk amongst yourselves.
I wonder how many dogs they use for this scene. Is it did they only use the one dog? I'm pretty sure they must have used two, surely.
There has to be a CGI dog at some point, though. Some of those dogs had to be CGI. It couldn't have been all done with stunt animals.
It had to have been the one that went through the windshield had to have been.
Yeah, CGI.
Yeah.
But that's a nice little setup and payoff there, where on the stairwell in the chateau previously, John Wick saves the dog.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a callback
that's
to
the turning
first movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's a turning point for the tracker, but we know that's what John Wick thinks. We know that's how that he has a bond with dogs, with animals, dogs in particular. But that's nicely set up. It's so consistent with the character. It's great they put that in. I thought it was a really nice touch.
Here you go, folks.
Totally
Franco
agree.
Walker in the chat. Who's a good boy then?
And again, like for such a simple story, all of these little things that they take care of, the callbacks or the setups that they eventually have great payoffs. Like you get to like this dog throughout the movie, and John saves him, and it's a nice callback to the original. It speaks to John's character. It sets up nobody's motivation to help John.
Yeah.
Not too long later. Out of respect for what he's done. And
Yeah.
also like earlier, right before this, when he got his car back, like they're just great, subtle little things that despite a simple story and the point is the action and enjoying the spectacle, there are still significant, really well done little subtleties as far as the script goes.
Also, you don't realize how many throwbacks they did to the other John Wick movies. Like the pencil gag, for instance, they did that.
Yeah, you go. Look,
yes,
there you go.
yes,
Look,
I caught
Iceman.
that one.
There you go. I was just about to put that up. There you go. Iceman. Donnie Yen
Yes.
uses a pencil to get himself free from the suit-wearing guy before nobody kills him.
Yeah.
A fucking pencil. Yeah.
A fucking pencil.
I will say, chat, if you've seen the movie, mark out of 10, and then we'll get the panel their thoughts.
Rebecca used the pen.
Here you go. Big Killer 8 or 9. See, I was torn between that. Yeah. Here you go. Wookie 8. Okay. I will say. Oh, here we go. Iceman 8.
8.
Yeah, as I said, guys, 22 watching. If you've seen it, throw a quick mark out of 10, and then we'll flash it on the screen before we go. Here you go, Neil. I'd have to see it again. I'm 8.5 or 9.
Oh.
Yeah, happy on 9. It's definitely a strong 8 all day long. Yeah, I think it kind of depends how much you're into it for the 9. Do you know? I think that's it, guys.
Yeah,
I was entertained.
Do you want to discuss the ending? And
no, because there was a couple of peeps in the chat who have not seen it. So I think we'll leave that. I don't think we need to be honest, but. There you go, folks. Please consider donating to the channel. Links in the description, pin message, all that stuff. If you've made it to the end and you're not subscribed, I kind of get the feeling that you all are. Please subscribe. That's the main thing. I will say, chats, obviously, super short notice. Always great to see the old faces and some new faces. We are truly nothing without you guys. Great to see you. To see you, great. It's like, nice to see you. See you, nice. I think that's it, folks. I will thank the guests. Romeo, Tango,
Where art
November,
thou?
Zulu. Cheers, Richard.
Very welcome, Brown. Anytime.
Wise Elder of the channel, folks. Mega Geek, Ian David Diaz.
Thank you, sir. No worries.
And Blue Boy himself, I think he was stimulating himself a bit too much at a few points, but Blue Boy himself, movie Cynic. Cheers, Matthew.
Cheers, guys.
Are we all going to go watch it now again?
I'm watching it Monday. Definitely. My tickets are booked.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going back to see it.
Yeah, I'd love
100%.
to go watch it tomorrow, but I won't have time because I've got to do put the Sunday show together. So I think that is it, folks. We are back tomorrow doing the Sunday stuff. Stuff has been happening in pop culture land.
Probably going to bring this up again, are we not?
Yeah, we'll do a little mini kind of.
I'm going to try to get my review up before the stream.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard because I'm trying to do a 20-minute video that I'm only halfway through writing. I gotta do all the video too, but I'm
Try
gonna try
not to
my
be
best.
as perfectionist on it. Just get it banged out.
No.
I think that is it, folks. As I said, we're back tomorrow. We're going to be doing the musing stuff. I think the Lord and Blue Boy and Ian are going to be back for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think that is it. Don't forget, if you're in the UK, the clocks go forward, don't they?
Oh, do they?
So we're on British
bollocks
summertime. So you're going to lose.
No.
The clocks go forward in about an hour's time. So if you're in the UK, you're going to
no.
lose. You're going to
Kidding.
lose an hour
hour.
of your sleep. I am trying to fill so I can.
I knew I shouldn't have came on this stream.
Oh, we would have missed you. You're glad you did.
Fill for another 7 seconds. I think that's it, folks. 2 hours.
That's not hard.
OCD is satisfied. See you later.
Bye.
Thanks, chat. Bye. Thanks, everyone.